Beneath the most contested piece of land on earth lies a secret that has obsessed treasure hunters, holy men, and empires for nearly 3,000 years. A temple so magnificent, so drenched in gold and divine mystery, that its very existence changed the course of human history. And then it vanished. His name was Solomon, king of ancient Israel, ruler of a golden age, and according to scripture, the wisest man who ever lived. God himself, it is said, granted Solomon wisdom beyond measure, and with that wisdom came wealth on a scale the ancient world had never seen, 1,000 wives, 40,000 stalls of horses, and a vision to build the most sacred structure the world would ever know. But here is the mystery that haunts us still. The temple Solomon built, along with its most precious relic, the Ark of the Covenant, disappeared from the face of the earth. No trace, no wreckage, no explanation, only silence and questions that have echoed through the centuries. Around 957 BC, Solomon summoned the finest craftsmen from across the known world. For 7 years, over 180,000 laborers carved, chiseled, and shaped the great temple atop Mount Moriah in Jerusalem. Cedar beams were shipped from the forests of Lebanon. Stones were quarried so precisely that not a single hammer blow was heard on site. It was, by every account, a masterpiece of the ancient world. The interior was breathtaking, walls overlaid with pure gold, floors of cypress gleaming in lamplight, cherubim carved from olive wood, their wings spanning the width of the inner sanctuary. And at the heart of it all, the Holy of Holies, the most sacred chamber ever constructed by human hands. A room so holy that only the high priest could enter, and only once a year. Inside that chamber rested the Ark of the Covenant, the golden chest said to contain the original stone tablets of the 10 Commandments, handed by God to Moses on Mount Sinai. The temple was not merely a building, it was the dwelling place of the divine on earth. For nearly 4 centuries, the temple stood as the spiritual heart of the Jewish people. But in 586 BC, a storm swept in from the east. Nebuchadnezzar II, king of Babylon, laid siege to Jerusalem with a ruthlessness the city had never known. The walls were breached, the temple was looted, stripped of its gold, and then set ablaze. When the fires finally died, all that remained was ash and rubble. The Jewish people were dragged into exile in Babylon, a trauma so deep it would define their identity for millennia. But amid the destruction, one mystery towered above all others. The Ark of the Covenant, the single most sacred object in the ancient world, was gone. Not captured, not destroyed as far as anyone could tell, simply gone. No Babylonian record mentions seizing it. No biblical account describes its fate. It is as though the Ark slipped out of history itself. And ever since that day, the world has been asking the same question. Where did it go? In 1119 AD, a group of 9 French knights arrived in Jerusalem during the Crusades. They called themselves the Poor Fellow Soldiers of Christ, but history would remember them as the Knights Templar. They were granted quarters directly above the ruins of Solomon's temple. For 9 years they supposedly dug in secret beneath the Temple Mount, and when they emerged, they were no longer poor. They became the wealthiest, most powerful military order in the medieval world. What did they find down there? Then there is the Ethiopian claim. In Aksum, Ethiopia, a small chapel called the Church of Our Lady Mary of Zion claims to house the original Ark of the Covenant to this very day. A single guardian monk watches over it for life. No one else is permitted to see it, no scholar, no camera, no king. The Ethiopian tradition says the Ark was brought there by Menelik I, the son of Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, over 3,000 years ago. Beneath the Temple Mount itself, a labyrinth of ancient tunnels and cisterns stretches into the darkness. Some of these passages have never been fully explored. Modern archaeology has revealed tantalizing fragments. Herodian stonework, crusader markings, sealed chambers. But political and religious tensions make excavation nearly impossible. The most sacred ground on earth remains, ironically, its most forbidden. Today, the Temple Mount is claimed by three of the world's great faiths. Jews revere it as the site of Solomon's Temple. Muslims know it as the noble sanctuary, home to the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock. Christians see it as the ground where Christ himself walked and prophesied. No other piece of land on earth carries such weight, such memory, such unresolved grief. And so the mystery endures. Somewhere, in a hidden cave beneath Jerusalem, in a chapel in Ethiopia, in a Templar vault lost to time, or perhaps in a place no one has yet imagined, the Ark of the Covenant may still exist, waiting, silent, untouched by the centuries. Solomon's Temple was destroyed nearly 2,600 years ago, but its shadow still falls across the world. And perhaps that is the deepest mystery of all, that a building which no longer stands has never stopped shaping the course of human history.